Person of interest in Kelsey Farragon killing shot dead by police. Police have confirmed that Giovanni Ellis, the person of interest in the killing of 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon in St. Catherine, was killed in a confrontation with lawmen in Clarendon on Monday morning. Police confirmed that an operation was led to capture him in Sandy Bay, Clarendon. The murder of the 9-year-old has sparked national outrage, with calls for stronger protection of children and swift justice. Man killed in alleged police confrontation had been reported missing. The Hanover police say a man who was killed in a confrontation with the police in Kings Valley in Hanover on May 8 has now been identified as a person who had been reported missing a day earlier. He has been identified as 27-year-old Christopher Williams from Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. The Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force says about 11:55 p.m. on May 8, 2 men were fatally shot during a confrontation with the police. They say 2 guns and ammunition were seized. The police say the incident was reported to the Inspectorate and Professional Standard Oversight Bureau and the Independent Commission of Investigations. It has been reported by the media that the police went in search of a group of men who abducted a woman in Westmoreland when the confrontation occurred. The woman was reportedly rescued by the lawmen. Classes to resume today at Horace Clark High after alleged burglary over weekend. Classes at the Horace Clark High School in Islington St. Mary were suspended on Monday after the school was burglarized over the weekend. The burglary is said to have taken place early Saturday morning. Police reports are that about 1 a.m., the security guard on duty heard unusual noises. Upon his investigations, he saw 2 masked men tampering with lights along a pathway. The security guard informed the acting principal, who then alerted the Islington police. On the arrival of the police, it was observed that the principal's office door had been forced open and the room ransacked. A monitor box and laptop were stolen from the office. The bursar's office was also vandalized, and an undetermined sum of cash was taken. The thieves also reportedly broke into the staff room and forced open the container that houses school's stock shop, where they took snacks and juice. A release from the Ministry of Education said that items reportedly stolen included internet modems and microwave, computer accessories, and items from the tuck shop. Furniture and fixtures were also damaged, light bulbs were shattered, and important documents were displaced. As a result of the incident, classes were suspended yesterday. However, students who were set to sit overseas examinations were accommodated. Education Minister Senator Dana Morris-Dixon expressed her deep disappointment at the incident, stating, "It is disheartening to know that individuals would so callously disrupt the teaching and learning environment at Horace Clark High. Our schools must be safe spaces for students and teachers." Classes are to resume today, May 13. Prime Minister Holness says government will review the legislation on the sex offenders registry. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said government will review the legislation on sexual offences, specifically the sex offender registry, following the rape and murder of 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon. The child's partially nude body was discovered upside down in a barrel at her home in Joblin, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Friday. Speaking on Mother's Day at a visit to the child's home, Prime Minister Holness reassured members of the community that everything is being done to bring the perpetrator to justice. Dr. Holness said the government will review aspects of the sex offender registry. He said this incident requires the government taking a second look at it, makes the sex offenders registry available to the public so that the public can be armed with information to protect themselves. He said it is time for criminals to be eliminated from society.
The person who is alleged to have committed the crime, we don't know, we are speaking purely now on allegation, is someone who is a repeat offender, someone who is out on bail. And as the mother of the child who perished pointed out, that she had no idea that this man, who was essentially her neighbor, was a repeat offender and was actually out on bail. So that speaks to certain weaknesses, certain issues that we have to take a second look at in our criminal justice system. We have recently reformed the Bail Act, and we do have in place a sex offenders registry. But I think this incident requires that we take a second look on how we make this sex offenders registry available to the public so that the public can be armed with information to protect themselves. Yes, there are constitutional issues that we have to balance, but where we are in the society, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that our laws need to favor the protection of life and the protection of the victim rather than trying to protect the criminals. It is time that the society draws a clear line that we must eliminate the criminals from our society. They mean you no good. And I know that there is an ambivalence because the society we have, people are involved in all kinds of things. But we are drawing the line now that those who are involved in criminal activities, we can't support them anymore because it could have been your child. It could have been your child, innocent, has nothing to do with anything. So, in as much as the society is emerging now with confidence in the police, the society must also resolve itself and be unambiguous in being against criminals.
7 school buses to be assigned to St. Elizabeth State Vols. 7 school buses will be assigned to St. Elizabeth in a few weeks, Minister of Transport Darrell Vols has announced. His statement follows a crash along the roadway in Holland Bumble in St. Elizabeth, which resulted in 14 Hampton students being hospitalized. Principal Charlton Brown has indicated that students have since been treated at hospital and released. The entire ministry is affected when accidents of this nature occurred, and for this reason, we have been working assiduously to have the rural school bus system in place for September of this year, Voss said in a statement. Noting that the ministry has assessed the situation in St. Elizabeth, he shared that phase 1 of the program will begin shortly, and the 7 school buses will benefit a total of 25 schools. The safety and security of our children must take precedence, and despite the unfortunate rhetoric in the public domain regarding the rural school bus system, we will not relent on our commitment to ensure this is made a reality for our students, he noted. A September start date will facilitate the retrofitting of buses to make them fit for purpose, including repositioning of the door valve said. In the meantime, he urged all road users to exercise caution. If you're transporting passengers and particularly students, that you do so in a manner that is safe and one demonstrate an abundance of caution, he noted. Vast majority of patients receive good care at hospitals and health cares, claimed Tufton. The vast majority of people who visit public hospitals and health centers have received care without any negative experience, says Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton. Addressing the observance of International Nurses Day and the launch of National Nurse Week at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel on Monday, the minister shared that last year 3.2 million visits were made to public healthcare institutions and no bad experiences were reported. Obviously, 99.9% of those visits are incident free. People go, they are cared for, they get the medication, the nurse is nice, so there is no doubt that the overwhelming majority care and show the love that is necessary in the therapy that is required in treatment, the minister said, while lauding healthcare professionals in the public system. He urged the nurses to be steadfast in offering compassionate care, adding that if 1% of the staff ignores the protocol, it gives everybody a bad name. I am soliciting your support and even advice in how we enhance, as part of our technical competence, the compassion that has to go into caring, because every time we get a bad public exposure, it undermines the entire rate of workers in the system, he noted. There is always that one story which undermines the confidence in the entire profession. So, one of the things that I would like to see as part of this paradigm shift is a greater focus on how we reinforce compassion in caring. I tell people therapy starts at the gate, not on the hospital bed or in the doctor's office. Therapy starts with good morning, how are you? Can I get you a drink of water? Let me make sure that the bathroom is clean, Tufton told the audience. The minister told the nurses that his ministry has done a lot to make things better for them, and while he is not seeking to paint a perfect picture, we have made some progress in areas such as making more posts permanent over the last number of years than any time before, with nearly 1,500 posts. He noted that before then many nurses had to work on a temporary basis on contract, and that did not offer the security and tenure that they deserve. Tufton also said the government is building out more hospitals and hopefully that will translate into better working conditions for the nurses. to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.